All right guys, what's up? This is Tom at VSC and we're going to talk Generation 2 L5P dyno numbers and the dynos that are in this room. So traditionally we've used this Mustang dyno. This is a 1750 all-wheel drive. We just recently commissioned our dual eddy current brake DynoJet LC224. I'm going to show you the differences in the Mustang to the DynoJet numbers. We just started doing some polls. This truck has 300 and some miles on it. It's a 2026 L5P. We are using this for burnout truck competitions and some other things. So we're going to show you what this truck put down for dyno numbers, because there's a lot of questions and misinformation running around the internet on dyno numbers and what does it take. So both these dynos in this room put about the same exact horsepower down. The Mustang has always been about 410 to 415 horsepower to the ground. And it seems like this DynoJet for baseline numbers is going to be what is on the screen here. 420 horsepower, maybe 418 to 420. So you can see these are uncorrected dyno numbers coming across here from left to right. It's pretty nice in this room, 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 28 inches of mercury in this room. The humidity is 15%. The uncorrected value is 1.0. I usually use uncorrected numbers unless it's super hot out and I'm in the dyno bay trying to chase something down to figure out what's going on so I don't have environmental conditions messing with me. But it's uncorrected value is 420 horsepower across 4 different dyno passes and 930 or so foot-pounds of torque at about 2100 RPM. And again, these are about 1 or 2 minutes of duration between engine cool downs, and then we do a retest. We're using about 40 to 45% brake across both eddy current brakes in this room to make this happen, so we can get about 15 seconds of load, maybe 20 seconds of load on this truck to validate what the truck's actually hitting. So what's really cool, and we're gonna start stepping into this is what this truck made. We have several L5Ps that are Generation 2. They all make that in this room. So now I'm going to display the fact that I have 2 dynos. They read roughly the same, within 5 to 10 horsepower of each other, the DynoJet being just a little bit higher. And then this is what the truck's actually doing. Again, this truck has 344 miles on it, and I can tell you that because we just bought it a couple weeks ago. And across the top, you'll see what the truck's actually doing compared to what's going on the dyno. So about 2600 RPM is where the truck made peak power at. And you can see what's going on the dyno there. 2600 RPM, 78 mile an hour. We were testing in 7th gear, which is what we have the dyno calibrated to. We're at 32,000 pounds of rail pressure, 35% vane position, 28 pounds of actual boost pressure. That's gauge pressure. Again, we're at about 1,100 feet or so, we're the barometric pressure in here is about 14.5, so we're slightly above sea level. 1,685 microseconds of duration. This truck is in mode 1, meaning it's in normal combustion mode. 120 or so millimeters cubed of fuel, 12 degrees of timing, 12 to 13 degrees of timing. A pretty consistent post EGT of 640 degrees. Inlet air temperature coming in on the other side of the intercooler is 118 degrees, and the turbocharger outlet's 288 degrees. And what all this means is this is what a truck, these Gen 2 L5Ps, what it does inside the ECM to make peak power. Now obviously these numbers are a lot higher when we start making bigger power numbers than this. This MM3 value is significantly higher. The duration's quite a bit higher. We're obviously commanding a fair amount more boost, usually 34, 35 PSI at this sea level. And then when you get into our turbochargers, obviously we're driving them quite a bit harder. But you can see there's a lot of parameters on the left side. Being this is a 2026, there's some things that we cannot log yet. We're not able to log pounds mass per minute on the MAF, millimeters per second coming from the FCA, ECT. There's a few values that the 2026s do not quite log yet, but we will have them very soon. Again, working with HP tuners, but again, 420 horsepower, that's what these trucks make on the dyno. They make it on our Mustang dyno, they make it on our DynoJet. They do not make it anywhere above that. They're not making 450 horsepower or 470. And again, we just calibrated this dyno too. We would get a dyno error on our main screen if it was out of cal, because the main screen would show me a dyno error because I have it set very, very tight. In fact, the Diesel Jesus button would light if the dyno was actually out of calibration. But we use this weight stack here. This is 100 pounds of weight. We have a 500 gram bar that sits here that's calibrated by DynoJet. We set all the weights here, reset both torque cells, and then usually we only do this once or twice a quarter depending on how many runs are done. And that's how we calibrate the dyno so we know it reads accurately. Again, it would error out if it wasn't accurate. This sets down on a torque arm that sits in here. This puts a little bit of weight across the torque bar, and then the torque arm is going to give us the actual value because it's a known amount of weight that sits on the back of this. So it's the same process that we have to do with our Mustang. It's a little quicker with DynoJet, quite more complex with the Mustang, but they're both measuring what's called F equals MA to calculate horsepower. And that's all we got.